We are over halfway through the No BS Kickstart. Congratulations to all of you that are sticking with the Kickstart. There's around 30 of the members that are actually logging on Sugarwood, and I know some of you are doing it without logging as well. That's a really good number taking part this year, and I'm really pleased to see a lot of you taking nutrition seriously, because as some of you may know, nutrition is the base or the foundation of the CrossFit period. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you are looking to implement an effective CrossFit training program, nutrition should be at its foundation. If you're not doing that, then are you really doing CrossFit? Are you just doing the bits that you like? Now, first of all, top 3, Stuart Wilson's at the top. He's been perfect every single day, 7 points a day. We've also got Sarah Minty up there in 2nd place and Anne-Marie Peck in 3rd. But wherever you are on the leaderboard, if you're taking part, that's great work. These Kickstarts are not about perfection, although we do try and encourage those of you that are competitive to take part, the points logging, just to help you be a bit more accountable. They are about learning better habits. Around the halfway stage, around 2 weeks into any nutritional change, is when you should be maybe looking and checking whether it's working. And for most people, these Kickstarts are about reducing your body fat and maybe increasing your muscle mass. But when we're in this short-term period, the most important number we're looking at, if we're looking at changing our body shape, is our body fat reducing. If that is your goal. Obviously, some people might go in the opposite way and try to gain muscle, gain size, gain body fat. That's fine too, but we need some data. It's a good opportunity right now to re-measure yourself to check the effectiveness. And that way it gives you 10 days, 11 days or so to make a change if you're not seeing the results you want to see. Why wouldn't you see results when you're cutting out booze, you're cutting out sugar, when you're cutting out starch, you're cutting out bread and processed foods? Most of you should see some results, but you may not. And that will be because of what you're substituting all of those items with. If you are substituting those items with high fat foods, you may see no or little result, or even a negative result. The reason being, for those of you that don't know, you get 4 calories from a gram of protein, you get 4 calories from a gram of carbohydrates, you get 9 calories from a gram of fat. So more than double the calories per gram from fat. I'm not saying that fat is bad for you, because it is essential in our diet. We need that as an energy source. There are essential fats that our body needs, but we need to be aware that they are very calorie dense. If you are adding cheese to replace your chocolate, just be aware how many calories in that cheese. I think a real sneaky one are nuts. Look at the serving size on your packet of nuts. If they have that on the back, then nutritional data on the back. Put that serving size on the scales and realize the portion that you need to have to hit the calories that it's going to give you on that packet. If you do that, you may well be surprised at how small a portion of nuts can provide you a very large number of calories. I think nuts are a great replacement, because the thing that they give for me, they satiate my hunger, and also they give you that crunchiness that is often lacking. Because for me, a lot of food is about texture, and when you cut out carbs, it's difficult to find something that has that kind of crunchy texture that you get with some nice carbs. So nuts are just a way of me satiating that need. But I learned a long time ago that a little goes a long way in terms of calories. I remember very early on measuring my portion of nuts on the scales and realizing that I was basically eating a whole meal worth of calories in nuts in the portion that I was putting into my Tupperware or just into my mouth every day. And I had to learn that, yes, you do need to be like a little squirrel when you've got nuts and just nibble your nuts rather than pound them down because they do pile on calories. Just be aware of that. Once you've remeasured, and when you're doing any kind of change in nutrition, it's really important that you do track the data. You also need to be really honest with yourself when you're looking at that data. In other words, if you have been sticking to this 100%, if you are like the Stuart Wilson of this world and you've done every single day on the number and you measure and you look at your body composition and you don't see any change, you know there's something that needs to change within your dietary habits because you've stuck to it exactly right and nothing's happened. Therefore, there needs to be a change. If you dabbled in and out, you haven't got accurate data to measure because you could have a really good week. You could have every single day, you could be in a calorie deficit of 200 calories per day for 6 days in a row. And then you could smash it out on a Sunday, binge on food, eat 2,000 calories more than your total daily calorie expenditure. And those 200 calories per day, which is 1,200 calories for those 6 days, are blown out of the water by the 2,000 calories over you on that day, and your net calories for the week are actually 800 calories in surplus, and therefore you're actually going to go backwards with your goal if your goal is to have fat loss. And it works in conversely as well. If you're trying to gain, you're doing this 200 calories more, and then you have a starvation day, it does work conversely as well. So just to be honest with yourself when you are looking at that data. If you've been good for some days, bad for some days, then you may well have to expect that you're not going to see results, because to see results, you need to be consistent over a longer period of time. And really, to check if a diet works, I always say to people, if you can stick to it for 2 weeks straight and be really good with that, and then you can measure, then you can see if you can make changes. So if you have done that and you haven't lost the body fat that you want to lose, for example, then you maybe do need to change, and you need to maybe you do need to have a look at how many calories you're taking on board and make some changes to that. There's no way of knowing if you haven't been accurate, because those bad days, those bad times are going to skew the results. Like I say, these kickstarts aren't always about results in terms of the short term. They are about breaking habits, realizing where you're at. Well, those of you that had severe headaches and symptoms of lethargy when you cut out your sugar and your carbs, you know that maybe your intake of those was too great. That's why you're having that massive come down when you come off them, and you just taper yourself back on, but in smaller doses, and just breed a better habit throughout the year. It depends really what your goal is when you have these kickstarts. If your goal is to just get as lean as possible in 4 weeks, then you do need to be really on it for those 4 weeks. If your goal is to just set good habits so that over the course of a year, you're going to see those results coming, then just stick to what you're doing now. Maybe measure yourself, or maybe just wait till the end of the kickstart, see what the results are there, and then you can make some changes there. Like for me personally, I've lost 12 kilos, but that's been over the course of pretty much 12 months. So it's a kilo a month, 2 pounds a month, which is, as you can work out, is half a pound a week. So it's a tiny amount over a short-term period, but that adds up because it's been consistent over that year. But some of you might want to see results more quickly. Maybe that's how you're motivated. The one thing I will say as well is, do not be afraid to ask me questions if you are not seeing the results, if you're not sure of anything. I've already answered a few of you guys' emails and questions in class to help you out. It is my job to do so, and it's in my best interest for you guys to see results. So I'm happy to help you out, because I know that if you start to see better results, you're more likely to stay on as members. So definitely, I'm not going to be one to shy away from giving you answers. When you ask me those questions, they may not be coming immediately. It may take me a day to reply, but you definitely will get a response to your questions, and I will do my best to help you out to see the results that you want to see. We've got about 12 days left in the Kickstart. It ends Sunday, not this Sunday, Sunday week. Keep going with it. If you've fallen off the wagon, get straight back on. Like I say, all these Kickstarts are not about perfection. It's just about being as consistent as you can for as many days as you can throughout that Kickstart. Thanks for watching, and I'll see a lot of you in the box soon.